All right, so Victoria, you're new to this show. We're going to start with this wide camera angle that we normally don't start out with, but I'll tell you what, we just start talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
We can start talking about anything.
What do you think about coasters?
Coasters are a waste of your time and energy. And
Are you not into like the vapor rings on your table at all?
I mean, does that really happen in Colorado, though?
Yes, it does.
That's
And some people are
that
really...
I have a table I care about enough, so I need a coaster.
Yeah.
Huh.
I guess I'm the same way, too, because, like, any coffee table or end table has always been, like, a cheap thing that I bought that's going to get beat up, so it's like, whatever.
If it's new, it's $100 from IKEA or something, and you're not really worried about it.
But then you got to bring it down from Denver, and that's not as conducive. It's like,
or you can just get something shipped that's cheap from online.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
The nicest things I've gotten are from, like, Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then you're meeting someone somewhere. It's like, yo, let's meet at the Walmart for a coffee table.
Let's meet at the Come and Go.
Yeah. Why the Come and Go? I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I've done it at Walmart, the neighborhood market.
Oh, yeah.
Before. I've done that. But it's, you shouldn't be afraid of people, but at the same time, it's like, I just want a table. I just want to give you money. Let me scan a Venmo code, and then off we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? Because it's like, you're like, I don't want to get, like, kidnapped or murdered by this person. But then, like, you know, you're also the one who's selling things, and they're probably thinking the same thing about you.
Oh, yeah, they definitely
You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, so it's like, all these people thinking the same thing, and, like, you know, nothing's happening right now.
Yeah, and then you go through it, and then nothing happens, and then why was I afraid?
Right.
I'm going to do this again. What else can I sell?
Yeah, mine's just I just hate answering like questions and over. Like I hate those prompts. Like, is it available? Like, no, now it's not. It's not available anymore.
Yeah,
but no, it is. We just come by.
Just kidding.
Yeah. There are, but like every time I try selling something, it's always like I will negotiate like right away. I'm like, just come take it. Just like meet me somewhere.
Please.
And then they're like, they just ghost me after that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I am coming off as like a serial killer or something. Whenever I'm just like, I know I've got it listed for $100, but just come get it for $60. And they're like, whoa, this guy really wants me to come get this.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I need to be like, oh no, it's double the price now.
Yeah,
now let's
just because you asked.
Yeah, now let's
figure
this out. We'll negotiate back down to the original price.
Yeah. All right. Let's start the show. How does that sound? That's pretty good. Wow. Hello. I actually wrote a script this time, so I'm going to be reading some words. Hello and welcome to the Hot Takes and Stewing Breaks podcast, the bi-weekly pop culture podcast brought to you by the Colorado Springs Independent. I'm your host, reporter Nick Raven, and joining me in the studio, I've got guy who watches way too much stuff, Kelly Karnetsky.
That's right.
Who's bringing it back. This is now our third episode together of 4. And joining us in the studio, Viktoria Costantino, our account executive here at 6035, the Colorado Springs Independent. Thank you for dropping in.
I'm happy to be here.
I know.
I'm so happy to talk movies with you.
Yeah, we're going to talk some movies. We're going to talk some stuff. Have you heard any of our podcasts before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I actually just recently subscribed to the Indy 15. Actually,
that's another fantastic weekly podcast that we do here.
Yeah. And that's, I just love to hear your beautiful voice. So
thank
I had to make
you.
sure that we're...
Thank you. I did larynx stretches before I got in here this morning. I was typing up some assignment, and I'm like, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's fantastic. We start out, so we do the cold open, and then we go into the news. We're just going to go to the news here. Oh, that's fantastic. I printed these out, and I had a couple of items. I was actually going to hand this around, and you can read off the first one because we're going to talk about Meta. So if you want to just read the bold line and then the synopsis underneath there.
All right. Wired. The reason for Meta's massive layoffs, ghosts in the machine.
It's not Devin Sawa. It's If you want to read the quote part,
and-
yes.
Oh, you didn't
Yeah.
say that though.
Yeah,
No,
you just
no, I
said
did.
The
No, you just said the bold part.
Oh, the bold. Yeah, the bold part and the quoted part.
That's why I'm glad
there.
Kelly's
yeah,
here.
Yeah, Kelly's.
Yeah,
Kelly's
I'm
the real
making
host
sure you're
here.
keeping you on the
His
toes,
hands
you know?
are behind his
Oh, yeah,
back to
I'm
like
restrained.
controlling. Yeah, it's,
I'm restrained. I'm stuck here.
it's, it's hot takes.
For now.
And, yeah.
All right. According to company insiders and people tracking the company's business from the outside, today's news isn't only a correction of the pandemic years. I would say it's probably the last 5 to 10 years, originating even before Zuckerberg's metaverse obsession. Some of the losses can be attributed to the sheer range of risky and failed experiments the Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram parent company has conducted over the years. The former employee says, I just can't. Hey, you asked me to read this.
Yeah, it's great.
I just can't think in the last 5 years of a successful meta app or feature that wasn't acquired, the ex-employee says, before suggesting stories, perhaps, which in itself was borrowed from Snapchat.
Yeah, isn't that pretty nuts? Because the article. Thank you for that reading.
Oh,
Thank you for
you're-
participating. You were
Absolutely.
voluntold, but that's how it goes. Yeah, the idea that Meta has not done anything. They've been doing a lot of experiments. They did their cryptocurrency, or they tried to do their cryptocurrency. The Libra, I think it was. Is it Figma, Libra, and
Zebra?
Yeah, it's really nuts how that all shook out, and then ultimately didn't shake out because they wanted to do their own crypto with verified transactions and stuff like that. But yeah, like WhatsApp and Instagram and all that stuff, they had to buy into all that.
Right.
They had to, and then eventually corrupt it with all the features of all the other stuff that Facebook has. So
I mean, but they built Facebook though.
they
So,
built that part.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm just saying, like a lot of
Built the Facebook.
like whenever you think of that though, like a lot of things have spurred from that, right? So like if you think about like Instagram or WhatsApp and stuff
But they
like
didn't
that, right?
spur from it. They bought it.
Well, no, I'm saying that like
You know.
if Facebook didn't exist
Yeah.
with like Messenger and stuff like that, then there probably wouldn't be Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat.
But there
I'm just saying.
was. But there was. Those things existed before Facebook.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Instagram existed before Facebook. I mean, not as a timeline, but they existed before they were being purchased.
That's
by
not what well, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying though, like the fact that they're saying that they had to buy all their technology. I'm just saying that like Facebook made that technology basically happen. I'm gonna stick to that.
Is that going to stick to that?
I
It's
will
like-
because like it's like the same thing. Like if social networks didn't exist, other social networks wouldn't come from that, right? Because people didn't like certain things from Facebook.
so
and
you're saying because
they created
Facebook existed as an entity.
to spur other things, and they just ate those up.
So
because they
Kevin
knew.
Systrom, Instagram creator, was like,
Yeah.
I was just going to upload pictures to my GeoCities, but because I was on
Exactly.
Facebook and understood how Facebook.
Well, and then he probably didn't like Facebook, and he was like, "I want."
That's kind of true of like so many people, right? It's
Right.
like I hate Facebook, but man, I love Facebook's Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's how it works.
Well, and so many people use Facebook Messenger, but don't ever post on Facebook. I'm definitely one
Right.
of those people where it's
Yeah.
like, this is better than texting or whatever it might be. It's like, well, I'm still using Facebook ultimately.
Right. Yeah. Well, remember when they did they had the umbrella brand was before it was Meta, it was Facebook. So it's like Facebook by Facebook.
Right.
And it was like really weird because you had this umbrella of stuff. It's like and it was in a different font, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
And the thing too is, if Instagram's like direct messaging and chat was better than Facebook's, they wouldn't be integrating Facebook's chat into Instagram. It would have been the
Right.
other way around. So obviously, Facebook has some good technology.
Yeah.
They're just essentially acquiring a user base, and then some technology that that user base really likes to do. They're just more specific than Facebook. Facebook's so general, and Instagram is very focused. Snapchat focused, WhatsApp focused, and then Facebook says, well, our messaging technology is better. We'll integrate that into things.
it was like a lot of the back end stuff, and also that's how they sold ads.
Right. Yeah.
That's how they sold
true.
Yeah,
ads.
it's all down to the money.
Yeah. I mean, we're all about the Benjamins in here. I actually got to make a what kind of chip do you got in there? A Dorito joke the other day
Oh my God.
from All About the Pentiums.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was pretty great. That's high level
Oh
Raven.
yeah.
Right,
Oh yeah. We'll have to
Yeah.
talk about the Weird Al movie eventually.
Yeah, I think
Eventually.
I'm gonna watch it before next episode, which we have to talk about because in 2 weeks is Thanksgiving,
Oh yeah.
so we got to schedule something before or after. Anyway. And this story comes off the fact that they announced that they were laying off 15,000 people, and
What's the percentage of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was. I don't remember the exact percentage, but what I do know is that it's basically still a higher head count than they had before the pandemic.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
So like they were over hiring like during the pandemic, and
Yeah.
then they cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I mean that makes sense. I mean, most people were online more during the pandemic
Right.
than
Yeah.
before, but still,
Yeah.
you think you'd be able to stretch it a little longer than they have at this point for 15,000 people.
Right, and then the other thing is that Facebook lost that access in iOS devices and Mac devices, just being able to sell ads across, the Ask app to track thing. They lost access to that, so that was like billions of dollars in revenue and ultimately profit that they lost that way too. So just kind of a culmination of things. Also, this metaverse thing that no one seems to really give a poop about. Okay. If we had Hot Takes as a metaverse app and we were just sitting here in VR space and people could like look around at like a tropical paradise, as the three of us are sitting at a table and like dolphins are flying around
I'd
and
hope
there's
so.
like a Teams chat, and so we can be like, yo, I'm also interacting, getting stuff done, that like I think No,
just stop right there.
I think that's the future.
Does
but
anybody here have a VR headset?
No.
I do.
All right.
I have a Quest 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
I mean, it's fine. I got the notification like that I had to convert my account back to a Meta account, which was funny because it was like they made such a big deal of converting over to Facebook accounts.
Yeah.
And tons of people had issues with getting banned and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then now they're reversing it back, saying, "Hey, convert it over to a Meta account, and then you can add the Facebook social if you want that."
Right.
It's like,
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
yeah, and it was like I had to do it, or like I would get locked out or something like that. And so I was like, okay. So I'm like opening up the app, and it's like you need to update your headset, and I was like, can I still just like convert my account, please? Which you could, but, but still they're like, and then they try getting you to create your avatar, I guess, with legs and everything now.
Oh,
so.
With legs.
With
I don't know.
that
I don't
legs
know.
are DLC. Yes,
yeah.
the legs
Yeah.
DLC.
Yeah, once you
yes.
get converted over to a Meta account, then you can get your legs. So and then share that to your friends on Facebook. So.
That's-
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if you share your Meta account with other people, because it's not Oculus anymore, it's Horizon. It's not. It's the it's the Horizon Quest now, not the Oculus.
I thought it was
Quest.
just called MetaQuest. Yeah. See?
Because there's like because it's like or maybe Horizon's the service. Horizon it's the thing. But
Yes,
I'm
Horizon
saying-
is the app. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
but it's now instead of I don't think there's any Oculus stuff. It's just called
Oculus
Meta
is gone,
Quest.
which is dumb because
Yeah.
Oculus was such a good brand.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. But what I was going to get at is that you have to share your Oculus whatever with 5 people to get their energy so that you can do 5 more things in
So we're going back to like the Farmville.
We're going back to
game
There
business.
we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
Yeah, okay,
Exactly.
got
That's
it.
what I was trying to do. I was
Yeah.
actually there was something about MySpace that I think I was trying to get. Oh no, I was going to say
Farmville, MySpace. What year is it?
oh my God, it's too late now. Oh, so with Clerks 2, there was a contest where the first 10,000 people to add Clerks 2 as a friend on MySpace got their name in the credits of the theatrical and DVD releases.
But they cut them out of the digital releases.
I don't
But did you
know.
have to put them in your top 8?
We're going to check.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith's going to be looking, snoochy and all that stuff. Great. Meta, fantastic. Let's go on to item number 2 here. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim turns 11 today. We're recording this on November 11th. And
Did you say it turns 11 too?
It turns
11 on 11/11?
Yeah, 11,
Angel
11,
numbers.
22.
Oh, God.
Angel numbers. What the heck
Make
is
a
an
wish.
angel number?
We can look it up later.
Oh, okay. I was just like number station.
No, it's just like 1111. You know, anytime it's like dual numbers is like angel numbers.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for 22, 22, 22.
Okay.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Eventually. I
guess.
think I did the math and
Wait,
it's
hold on.
like October 22nd of like 20.
Wait, how? Yeah, how's that?
23.
It's not able
It's
to.
not.
22, 22, 22. What?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm sitting there like, wait, yeah, can
Wait a
that
minute.
happen?
Let me do the math.
Yeah. In the future, we start adding months to our calendar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we add
February
another 12
4,
months. Yeah.
the 4th February.
Yes.
We're not just counting years anymore. We're
Right.
going up in
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, that's how. Anyway.
There's too many years. We got to add more months to get rid of to lower the years down.
That's such a Catholic thing to do.
Oh.
Which is like, that's,
I mean, I could.
we're adding 10 more months so that we can celebrate the Holy Skyrim.
I could just see that as like a corporate thing of doing that. So it's like
We
you know,
need-
like your retirement
it's quarter
age.
84. We need to get our numbers met.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause like your retirement age, right? It's like they just extend the years, like whatever, like 55 or whatever for retirement. But if you add more months,
I was saying
Oh.
you're
Had the
not
same-
getting your year-end bonus
Exactly.
until the end of
See?
the year.
Oh my god,
We're just gonna keep
This
adding.
That's
months.
actually really genius. I'm gonna think about how to do that in some ways. I'm gonna see if I can sell that to the government or something.
This is all copyright hot takes. Steve breaks the Colorado Springs Independence.
Yeah, let me
1635.
talk to some Senate people that are
Yeah,
up for
let's talk
election.
Senate people. Are you a Senate person?
Right? Yeah, I
Have
got a
you thought
proposal
about adding
for
more
you.
months?
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you think? Forget daylight savings. We're just gonna add months to the end of the year.
Exactly, yeah.
It's gonna save you so much money.
Yeah. exactly.
Skyrim. So I was actually there at the midnight launch of Skyrim because I'd played Morrowind and I played significantly less Oblivion. And then Skyrim came out. It's like, man, I'm gonna play that. I got the hardcover strategy guide back then
Wow.
as well. I was ready to go. I went to Best Buy, my Best Buy.
Your Best
first,
Buy?
My
Okay.
best at First and Main. You know the deal.
Oh, I know the deal.
You know the deal. And they had built the Dragonkin statue that they sent to all the media outlets and stuff like that. So they were ready to go. And so was I. And I played till like 7 a.m. And then I was reviewing it for a site that we were working on at the time. And I think I put like 35 hours into it. And then Saints Row the Third came out. And then I dropped it cold. And then I couldn't get back into it because there's like Skyrim is one of those games where if you put it down for like more than 26 minutes, you need a tutorial to figure out how to play it again.
That's
Or what
true.
you're doing. It's like,
Yeah.
what is that quest?
Right.
What's going on?
how do I
Maybe they
first
should
wrote
just
that
add more
again?
minutes to that.
Yeah, right.
Just more months.
Just yeah, more minutes, more months.
They have they have some interesting months in there too. Like I don't know, but it's like the year 27,000 or something in there. You go into all the literature and the fiction.
Wait, is it what? I thought it was. See, I'm gonna not date myself, but I'm gonna make a reference. I thought it was in the King times.
Oh yes, exactly. No, it's not in
Yeah.
the King time. In fact, this game takes place like 4,000 years after Oblivion, something like that. Or Oblivion took place 40,000 years after Morrowind, or Morrowind. You know, whatever.
Just in the future. Just
It's in the
not now.
future.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Long time ago in the
Galaxy.
future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Time's a flat circle.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
how it works.
All right.
Skyrim. I've tried 3 times. I've like gone through the tutorial 3 times where you're coming down. You would know, even if you haven't played this.
It just, it's
coming
just
down
such
the
a huge
wagon.
investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
You
I know
know
the
the
wagon.
Yeah, you know the
Yeah,
scene.
you
Yeah.
know
I
the
know the
wagon.
wagon.
Yeah.
So everyone's at least got to the wagon part.
And then the
it's
train
like,
comes out of the sky.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's. God. The mods, I swear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, I know the mods.
Or is it Macho Man? It's like, oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's.
Freaking.
I've never played that game modded, and I need to so bad because I've
Yeah.
played. I don't think I've ever beat it, and I've played it like I don't know, probably like half a dozen times.
Is-
And I always get to the same point where I'm like real deep into it, and I become a thief, or
Yeah.
part of the thieves guild, and then
Yeah.
that's usually when I quit. So it's like I don't
Yeah.
know, 60 hours in, something like that. Is how far I get because I'm like also a mage and a thief. I'm like
Yeah,
I'm like
magic.
I want to be like everything I can.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I also want to be everything I can and have 10 more months in the year.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I
see?
did the same thing with the thief. usually do the Thieves Guild quests, but I don't know. I did that, and then Saints Row the Third came out, and it's hard to roll back from that.
Oh,
It really is.
yeah.
When you're just blasting everybody, and you're playing co-op and blowing things up, and you're flying around, and then Skyrim, you're walking.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a dragon.
It's definitely tone change.
Yeah, it is. It is really. It's not appropriate to have those games so close together. So, happy birthday to you, Skyrim.
Do we get another release for that?
We probably will.
Okay.
I think that. So
It'll be released on all the consoles again.
again,
Yeah.
they're going to be a next gen.
Yeah.
'Cause
They'll announce the next consoles. That's
Yeah.
That's what's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
happen.
I mean, I'd play it on. Is it on PS5?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh
on.
god.
I mean, it's on
of
everything.
course. I mean, that was the dumbest question I've
Well,
ever asked. Oh my god.
They've
This
got
is-
it.
is
They
the
got it
fu-
everywhere. Yeah.
So Xbox Series S is just a beefed up Xbox One with
Yeah.
a new name, and then the PS5 is just a PS4, but with like really weird designs.
I gotta
so
admit, it's
like,
beautiful. I'm lucky to own
It's
one,
pretty.
and
It's pretty
gorgeous.
neat, but it doesn't have Game Pass.
Yes.
I mean, it's got PS. Maybe it's got PS Plus, bro.
Right. Yeah.
It's like it's not the same.
No, it's not.
It's not real. It's
No, it really isn't. In fact, it's wildly disappointing most of the time when I open it up. So.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, are you playing God of War?
No, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
I had to finish up. Oh, God, I always forget the name of it. Immortality. I had to
Oh
finish
yeah.
that up before.
You
I
know,
did
it's funny. You
anything.
pop into my office, and you're like, Immortality.
Hey, you need to play this game. Yeah. Which also is not on PlayStation Plus, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh.
Should
Like,
be,
that's
but it's
great. That's okay. Cool. Well, we'll get to that too because I'm also playing Disco Elysium. I'm trying to get through that, and maybe next episode.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. Have you
There-
played Disco Elysium? Okay, very interesting game.
Okay.
It's not on any Game Pass or
Yes.
anything, but it was like $9 on Steam.
It is way cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a talkie adventure game where you talk with people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
worth a
kind of
shot.
my jam. Yeah.
Okay.
Fully voiced, too, which
Fully
is the
voiced
best
now.
part.
The
Oh.
original was just like you just read stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now for us, the audiobook. I mean, I'm not an audiobook, but I know you're into audiobooks.
I am. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I think this would be the version for you.
Okay.
Oh
Cool.
yeah.
Sweet.
Wrapping up the news here. You want to read number 3, the headline and the quoted section underneath.
Okay.
Actually, if you want
He
to just
said
read
it.
3 and 4,
All right.
because they're kind of together.
Okay, so excuse me. This is from CNET. Beloved Batman actor Kevin Conroy dies at age 66. Batman actor Kevin Conroy died at age 66 after a short battle with cancer. His representatives confirmed in a release Friday. He was best known for voicing DC's iconic superhero in Batman, the animated series, and Arkham video games.
Excellent. And then, go
Oh, we
for
don't.
number-
We don't want to
No,
talk
we're
about.
gonna
Okay,
keep.
okay.
No, we're
Okay,
not.
and so this one's from TMZ. Gallagher dead at age 76. Gallagher died while under hospice care in Palm Springs early Friday morning, TMZ has learned. His manager tells TMZ Gallagher died of a massive organ failure. He had been in ill health for a while, suffering numerous heart attacks over the years.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, this is like today and yesterday. So Kevin Conroy I know because I grew up on the animated series,
Okay.
the Batman animated series, and we're like kind of the same age.
We're all
kinda
around there. It was a
around
little
there.
before my time, but
Yeah.
boy, is there a cult following for it.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Like the Art Deco, the whole thing
and
was
it's
just like
a
nuts.
gorgeous show.
It's an amazing show, and it's got a real respect for kids,
Oh,
like
yeah.
doing adult themes and stuff like that. It didn't
Oh,
like
yeah.
talk down in
In
that.
an appropriate way.
In
for
an
sure.
appropriate, yeah, absolutely. And so, like, Kevin Conroy was like the voice of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
For me, absolutely. So, and then he was also in the Arkham games, which I haven't played. Everyone recommends them, and like each one kind of less and less as it goes
I
along.
did about the same thing as Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
With Arkham Asylum. I would get to a point and just, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I need to be. So.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way about like Assassin's Creed. That sounds like because I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now,
Okay.
and I'm getting into it. Like
Yeah.
it's very interesting to me. But like I tried 4 and I tried Unity, and those are like there's so much to penetrate. It's like coming into a show like 4 episodes in,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like what in the world is going on here?
I mean, I'm always bad about completing video games in the first place.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there. Yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, but like Black Flag was the one that I played the most. I never beat it, but I played that one the most. That was my all-time favorite.
I'm up to the part where they give you the boat, and I don't like it. I don't like sea combat that much.
They do a good job.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's
okay,
not.
But is it anything along the lines of Sea of Thieves? Because that is some ocean combat for sure.
See, I'm gonna say they said the waves for that.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I've never played Sea of Thieves, so
that sounds like something we've got to. What we're
Yeah.
gonna do is we're gonna have a streaming setup here.
Right.
We're just gonna, join us for the hot takes and string breaks live streaming Sea of Thieves party like this.
Right?
Well, it's got to be versus Black Flag.
Yeah.
So maybe
Oh.
just like on opposing monitors.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we'll make
Pretending
it
to
work,
fight.
but it'll work.
Technology. We have the tech. I have a
Oh, yeah.
stream
Yeah.
deck right here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can press buttons and they can fight each other. So, and then Gallagher. That was definitely before my time. I'm the oldest one here, but I remember he was the smashing the pumpkins dude.
Watermelons.
Yeah.
Watermelons.
You know, I'm sure there was a pumpkin at some point.
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't know.
All
I'm
right.
assuming like
Ask me
I only
anything
know.
about Gallagher.
I mean, I'm the same way. Like I've never seen him.
He's like my
live.
parents. He's
Right.
like my parents' comedian. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just seen like clips and stuff like that with seeing him smash watermelons.
Right.
And then everybody's like, ah.
Yeah.
You know?
So as I understand it, he was like just a regular stand-up comedian to start.
Yeah.
But then as soon as he started getting into the melons thing,
Yeah.
he just became the melons guy.
Right. Kind of like how Jim Gaffigan is the Hot Pockets guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I've seen Gallagher. I mean, he
Like live?
like live. Yeah,
really?
he actually. I was just looking at the article before we came down, and apparently he kept performing, and I'm not surprised. I saw him while I was in college. I think it was 19 when I saw him, and I had no idea who this guy is.
Yeah.
Absolutely no clue. And everyone said, "Oh, he's the watermelon guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And it's like the first two rows they like just cover in saran wrap or something. It's like
yeah.
that's the splash zone.
Oh yeah, and that's about all I remember about it. It was pretty memorable, but that part was what was memorable. That
Yeah.
was it. But I mean, he is really beloved, and I remember having a good time. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
that's
I don't remember like his comedy style or anything or any jokes.
I don't.
I just
yeah,
know like
I just melons.
yeah. I just like I
Pumpkins.
just picture in my head he like sets up a joke and then he doesn't like tell the punchline, but he just smashes watermelon. That's just how
That's
I
the
picture
joke.
It. Yeah.
It's
like-
a smash line instead of punch
Oh yeah,
line.
there you go. It's a smash line.
Don't roll your eyes at me. I was set up for that one.
Right?
That was so good. That was just me. Like I had to reboot. It's like that was a little too much.
Right.
I actually didn't realize until not that long ago that on the original on Morrowind, this Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind on the original Xbox, they did a thing because the load times even with the hard drive were really long, and so what they did was they put up the load screen and then they rebooted the console while the game was playing so that then they could bring in all of the new data.
God.
Yeah, they
What
had
an
to.
energy suck.
That is.
God.
It was an 8.5-pound console. I mean, of course, it was this
Yeah.
huge honking beast. It was the first console with a built-in hard drive, and that's how they did it to get it to work. Is they just had to start basically a whole new application while it's held in place by this splash screen.
Wow.
Yeah, it's heckin' nuts.
Yeah.
All right, that's been the news. We're going to talk about some movies that some of us have seen and some of us have not. So let's get into the main event. That's so fun every single time that comes up. This week, we're going to be talking about Clerks. Now, you, Victoria, you haven't seen Clerks, but you've seen Dogma. Have you seen any other Kevin Smith films?
That is the only one I've seen, but I am a huge Dogma fan.
Okay, but
So-
you will get
Oh yeah. Once you're in the universe, I feel like you know
the
a little
View
bit. Yes.
Askewniverse.
Yes.
That is literally the brand.
What about his best movie though? Cop Out.
Oh my God.
Lord.
Oh my
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I still love Cop Out. I will always love
it's,
Cop
it's
Out.
just because Bruce Willis is in it
yeah.
and Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And then
I
I
think that's
can't.
it.
I'm just blanked on the other guy. Gosh,
There was Jason Lee was in there, and I don't remember who the villain was. I don't remember much about that movie except the
Yeah.
terrible soundtrack.
Well,
Oh.
that's the best part of his movies, I think, is that they're pretty well casted. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what's great about Dogma is that it is just fantastically casted.
So at that point, he had the clout, I guess,
Right.
because at that point he'd done the original, so Clerks was the thing that really put him on the map. That was '94. He went to Sundance with that, and then that's when Miramax picked him up under Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how he got
Such is
his
the
start.
time.
Such is the time, such is the life, unfortunately. But then he went to do Mallrats, he did Chasing Amy, and then Dogma. And at that point, that was and then he did Jay and Silent Bob,
Yes.
Strike Back after that. But Clerks 3 just came out. And I thought, man, it would be appropriate to go back through these movies kind of just one by one and just reflect on Kevin Smith, because Kevin Smith has kind of famously used the Clerks movies as his vehicle to message where he's at in his career, essentially. Because Clerks, and you will understand this, Victoria, it's these two guys work in convenience stores. It's the Quick Stop convenience store, and then it's the RST Video next to it, Dante and Randall. And they're like, we may work here, but we don't have to serve you. I think that's literally a line on the thing. So it's one of those early '90s movies about just them talking. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of those indie movies of the early '90s. It's like Richard Linklater and all them, because Kevin was inspired by Richard Linklater of Slacker, of just people who just talk at length about stuff, and that's what Clerks is, and it's also what Clerks 2 is, and it's also what Clerks 3 and Dogma and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot and Red State and every other movie that he's done is
Did
just...
you print out his little IMDb?
No, that's why I did it out of order. But what do you think about Clerks?
Just in general, or just the first?
Yes.
Okay. So
just in general, but then because especially the first.
Okay. Well, I mean, I thought I like it in general, right?
Yeah.
So I like the movies in general. 2 is my favorite one. And I just think that one, I like indie films and stuff like that. And I think Clerks, the first one, there's a lot of stuff that's good. And then there's just stuff where dang, this is really indie. And it's hard to get around some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of put it down for me. And then with Clerks 2, I think it was more refined, and I was like, okay, yeah, everything's more is flowing better, and everything like that. And then just being able to get Rosario Dawson and stuff like that, and some of the other casts that are in that movie, I thought just kind of elevated it a little bit more.
They have a dance number in Clerks 2. It's it's kind of tonally, there's some strangeness that they put in there.
Yeah, they definitely do, and that's what I think is good about that movie. It's
the first one or the second one?
The second one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then none of the movies are PC at all. And
No. So we're not going to dive into any of the humor because it's not appropriate for any human.
Yeah.
Much less anyone watching or hearing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did make sure to get some notes in here because otherwise I would just be babbling on and on. It was shot in black and white to avoid issues with color temperature. Oh. Because that was an issue that David Klein, their photographer, was having because they shot it, that Kevin Smith worked at the Quick Stop. They shot it over 3 weeks at night, and then they had day jobs. And of course they're in their, early 20s, so whatever, they can handle it. And then speaking of talking, they do the whole thing is laid out in vignette. So it's one customer after another, and they just have these really weird, nerdy conversations. And I watching 3 and 2 and then 1, I watched them in reverse order, seeing how earnest and clever the first movie is versus how bombastic and maximalist and cameo heavy the third one is. Yeah. It's man, I understand how Kevin Smith got his career, and I don't know how he's kept it.
I don't. Again, I like Cop Out, so.
Yeah,
But I mean, I think once you set yourself up, because Clerks I think was a strong way to start your career, right? And
Right.
and it's one of those movies that gets a cult following. And so like anytime something like that happens, I think you're going to get like that where a lot of people respect you and
Yeah.
want to be in your movies just because they know that you have like this vision and there's a cult following, so it's going to be seen and people are going to love it, right? And so
Right.
and I think that's what led to it being so cameo heavy, right? And
Right.
with the third one, so many cameos.
So many the thing is, like, Clerks feels like, this is the movie I want to make, but I don't have the budget to really make it the way I want to do it. And so with Mallrats, he's bringing in people like Stan Lee and stuff like that. Like, those started to be the movies that he really wanted to make. And it's like, maybe I haven't seen any, aside from Red State, I haven't seen any of his like weird, like kind of middle career stuff that's led to what's happened now. So Tusk, or what was the other one? Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah. And like he casts his daughter all the time. He casts his wife all the time. And let me go through my notes on the first one. It feels realistic, actually, the first one. Talking movie where the camera barely moves. It's charming. It's earnest. It's candid. They have a conversation about, maybe you know about this. It's where, like, how many thousands of contractors died on the Death Star when the rebels came and blew it up.
Oh yeah, let me pull that number out.
Yeah, but they're talking about that, and then just one of the customers comes up. It's like, yeah, man, I was about to do this job for this dude, but like he was a mob boss, and I knew that, so I didn't take the job. My friend did, and he got shot and killed. And I know that sometimes you just got to do work based on the politics of it, and not what the payout is. And that's the lesson of that little vignette of Clerks, the original movie. He's like, you're not even supposed to be there today. Yeah, that's the kind of nerdery that he was going on. Like, long before Comic Cons and Chris Hardwick and Will Wheaton, really.
Yeah.
Like, that's because he's a big comic book fan.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And he even did that reality show was like AMC or something, or A&E.
Yeah, I
or
can't
AMC.
remember. Yeah.
He did a comic book show because he has the secret stash in New Jersey. New Jersey is like his home, but he lives in L.A. So even Clerks 2, which we'll get into, like half of they shot in New Jersey and then half they shot in L.A. It's like, okay, sure, all right, whatever. Clerks is like one of my favorite movies ever, and if you just watch it by itself, and forget like that Kevin Smith had a career after that. It's kind of just diminishing returns from there, honestly. I mean, I know you love Cooper, but it's not Clerks, man.
Right. Well, and I also get why a lot of people like these movies the same way, right? Is that whole talking, geeky stuff, pop culture, stuff like that, like having those conversations, because as friends, you have those conversations, right?
Right.
And so that's what makes it so relatable.
Yeah.
And I think that's just adds to the charm and everything like that. And everybody has those conversations at work, and then anybody that's worked retail or something like that, you always get interrupted by customers, right? That's always they're interrupting our conversation. I got to take care of that, right? So it's so relatable, and that's what makes
Hashtag so relatable.
Hashtag so relatable.
There are movies like,
That's
I guess,
how we relate.
Waiting, or even like huge chunks of the 40-Year-Old Virgin that would not exist without Clerks.
Oh, sure.
Just being able to talk candidly about customer interaction, or even Superstore, like Superstore the show would not really exist without Clerks. So he does all those movies, including your favorite, Dogma, your favorite movie of all time, as I understand it.
No, I mean, it's on the list. Picking an
Sure.
all-time favorite movie, I don't know. I'm skeptical of anybody that has an all-time favorite movie.
It's Amadeus.
Even if it's... Okay. It's not Clerks.
It's not Clerks. No, Clerks is up there, but it's not. I wouldn't even say it's a 10 out of 10 film. But it's
You can have a favorite movie that's not a good movie.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on there.
I split mine between all 3 Beverly Hills Cop movies. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say acknowledging that third one.
It's first, second, and third place, but not in that order.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those are my favorites. Like that's of all time.
They're my top 3, but it's like 1, 2, and like I don't know, 56. Like, there's an average that kind of
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he does all those movies in between. He's kind of on a streak, and then 2006 he does Clerks 2. And that starts out, the quick stop is on fire. Dante and Randall have to go work at Mooby's, which is a fast food joint. And they do the customer vignette thing again, and it's so topical because they talk about like the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
And how there's a Transformers live action movie coming.
Yeah.
Oh
Talk
my
about
God,
yeah.
2006.
Yeah, this is very, very timely, and it's a lot of nerd references. It is also substantially more vulgar and obscene than the first one. Like, he cranked it to 15 on that movie, and I was surprised. Watching that again, I was like, oh my God, wow, that made it in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, when did this come out again? Oh, okay. Even? Okay.
Even, yeah.
Even then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just like the gross out stuff, but like the racist stuff. Just wow, hardcore.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, it's a lot more colorful, a lot more bright. Like the photography is amazing. Like it's the best of the three.
Yeah.
And it's David Klein. Like David Klein grew up into being a really amazing cinematographer. He does stuff like Homeland and those prestige shows and stuff like that. I think he did Mandalorian, a couple episodes of that as well. Yeah. So you know Star Wars.
If we want to have a podcast about the Phantom Menace, I could talk all day about it.
Oh snap! That's a dare. We should do like we could do all 9 movies, just like one episode.
I've got it on 4K Blu-ray, and it's the only one I have on 4K
That doesn't make
Blu-ray.
better. That does not make. You are not making a better case for this. So there's that dance number, of course, Oh, speaking of the vulgar, that was the movie that critic Joel Siegel famously walked out on. Apparently, like really loud, like I've been doing this 30 years, and it's the first time I've walked out of a movie. He was the guy with the mustache, if I remember right, famously. Okay. And apparently, there was a dispute over like the exact course of events. And Siegel kind of eventually apologized to Smith over on like Opie and Anthony or something like that. But that was like a kerfuffle.
So is it really that vulgar? Because that was the time of all the not like Scary Movie 1 and 2, but like all the spin-offs like
the
Meet
Wayans
the
Brothers stuff.
Yeah. And those are just like insanely vulgar. So was it just more of a product of its time?
I really think it was.
Yeah, it definitely
was. There
was.
Definite period in the mid-early aughts that it was as overboard as you could get.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think it was, but I think he just elevated it. He just took it a step further.
Okay.
Yeah.
Than those.
It wasn't like straight up gross humor. Like I said, there was some other stuff that movie does, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's kind of smart. Like he isn't just okay. I don't know if he's being smart about it. He's being smarter than about the humor that he has, but it's still really dumb. And I had totally forgotten the third act. I had completely forgotten.
Yeah.
What happens in the third act, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, it's just
Oh no!
It like the movie just leads up to like just a train wreck of like events, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
But it ends on a happy note,
right?
Oh, thank God!
Yeah,
and that's what I liked about the second movie more is just because there was more like story, right?
Yeah, there was an arc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that I really enjoyed that. You got more character development and stuff happening to characters and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that really worked out. And unfortunately, that leads us to Clerks 3. Let me see if I had any notes about that. Oh, and you mentioned bringing Rosario Dawson. Kevin wanted his wife to be Becky, I think is her name. So Dante in the movie is engaged to Kevin Smith's wife, Jennifer Schwalbach, and they like at the early in the movie they're like making out and all this stuff, and then it turns out that he's been cheating with Rosario Dawson, but Kevin Smith wanted Rosario Dawson's character to be his wife, to be played by his wife, but Harvey Weinstein's like, no, we need someone famous, so they brought in Rosario Dawson, and she does an amazing.
Yeah, she does good.
She's like maybe the highlight of the movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Even if Kevin Smith cannot write a realistic relationship to save his life, but whatever, that's how it goes. So Clerks 3, I believe. So speaking of cop out, because one of Bruce Willis's big complaints was that that movie was like the first that he had produced after he discovered weed. And so you had this like super stoned Kevin Smith, like, hey man, let's do this, and Kevin Smith didn't have much of knowledge about like focal lengths and what lenses we should be using for particular shots or anything like that. Because Bruce Willis has seen it all, right?
Right.
He's done it. He's rich. He's got it all.
Yeah.
But I think it was like Zack and Miri, like Seth Rogen got him into weed, and then after that, like his movies just started to change. Not for the better. And I'm not like, I know we voted against rec weed here in Colorado Springs, but I think here we'd be making more movies if we had weed versus Kevin Smith, who should stop, honestly. So he had a very interesting career post Clerks 2. And then he wrote a script for Clerks 3 in 2013, and I remember writing about that for the publication that I was working on at the time. And he couldn't get it financed because that was still under the Weinstein Company umbrella back then, and he couldn't get funding. And then eventually he got into like Lionsgate, but even the theatrical release of Clerks 3 like was like a Fathom Events kind of thing, like limited, like 2 weeks, something like that before I want to say it went to VOD in like 30 or 45 days. Like really quick. I know 45 days is the standard window now.
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah, now it is. But Clerks 3 is not a good movie. I don't know how.
You're really convincing me to watch this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like it seemed like it's supposed to be like fan service, but it was really like service him.
Yeah, it's how did I write it here? It's a mashup of stories that Kevin Smith has told much better in other places. It's because but famously a couple years ago he had a really massive heart attack. And then he's lost a lot of weight. So you see the transition between like 2 and 3, and because he's always been kind of a bigger, heavier set dude, but then he lost a lot of weight, and so he looks like a totally different person. So it's that story that he's told elsewhere. He still does them, but he'd do these. It's the conversation with Kevin Smith specials. He'd fill an auditorium. And like 2 people would ask him questions because basically he would spend like an hour answering each one with these stories. And like that's one of them that he's told is this heart attack story. And then with the 10th anniversary DVD of the original Clerks, they did a documentary, and it's one of my favorite documentaries because I love Clerks, called The Snowball Effect. And it's basically the story about how he got started in film, how he met Scott Mosier at Vancouver Film School, and then how they made Clerks, like step by step. So Clerks 3 is the heart attack story where Randall has a heart attack. And then it's just a dramatization of the snowball effect where they talk, because Randall has a heart attack. He's like, I want to do something meaningful with my life. I'm going to make a film about Clerks. Us, Clerks. I'm going to call it Inconvenience, which was the original name for Clerks back in the day. And it's just like meta joke after meta joke after meta joke. And I mentioned the happy ending at the end of 2 because he gets engaged to Rosario Dawson. She's having his kid. It's gonna be like a family. They buy the Quick Stop. The movie kills them off screen immediately. Yeah, it like resets. Yeah. He's like, Kevin Smith is resetting the whole clock, and it's a nightmare.
And I thought it was so weird because it's like, she's billed in the title screen like right away, and then all of a sudden it shows R.I.P. her, and I was like, what? Like,
oh my god!
Hold on, she's gone now, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then the kid too. Like what?
Yeah, and then the tombstone is like 2006. Like she died immediately after the events of Clerks 2.
Yeah, I saw that too. I had to rewound it to pause it there to make sure I was seeing that right. I was like, 2006. I was like, what? Did it happen like a day after that movie ended?
Right. It was like a car accident. So, so it's those two plus it's a bunch of celebrities just hamming it up. Like he brings in every single Ben Affleck, and I watched Jay and Silent Bob the reboot, his last movie. Train wreck, absolute train wreck of a film, but he was able to get Matt Damon in there to reprise his role from Dogma. Yeah. And it's just in jokes. It's in jokes. It's in jokes. It's in jokes. They have a sequence where they're auditioning for people to play the actors who become clerks in Clerks. And it's just celebrities like Fred Armisen and like it's just
So who's this for? You know, if you're making all these meta jokes, it should be your fans. But
Yeah.
if fans
It's for
don't
him.
like it,
it's for
him.
It's for him. Yeah, and even he's admitted in interviews, it's like, yeah, this is like kind of creatively bankrupt, isn't it? It's like I just kind of this Ouroboros, like I'm just eating my own tail kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's cartoonish in how it treats like every single. So in the original movie, there's this lady who goes into the Quick Stop and Randall's sitting there reading a newspaper. And she's like, can you tell me, which movie's good? And he's not paying attention. And they bring her and like a bunch of the original actors from the original Clerks back into 3. And then they have her do a bit, just like a cutaway bit where she's in doing a Lucille Ball impersonation because she likes doing Lucille Ball impersonations. And she's like, I want to do one for the movie. And Kevin Smith's like, yeah, go ahead. And he knew that because she runs the Playhouse where they got the actors to do the auditions to do the original Clerks.
So is he just bad at saying no?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's always a recipe for a good movie. Sure.
Yeah. He's being enabled by people with money to make these meta projects in here. And over these 3 movies, like in the first movie, Jay and Silent Bob, who are like the trademark people of the View Askew universe, like in the first movie, they were just kind of like weird people that just kind of hung out in front, like they kind of had an idea. But as it's gone through the years, like through Dogma, through all these other movies, they've like become these like hyper caricatured people,
right?
That characters, and it's that kind of reflects Kevin Smith's films. It's just they've become more cartoony, and it seems like the only way he could make an earnest film is if he had like basically $0.
Yeah.
Because and I remember watching the first third of Clerks 3 is just these characters making jokes. I did not laugh once about like there's a carryover from 2 that goes to 3, and he's like a real Christian evangelist, but then he becomes a Satanist, and he starts wearing these different forms of like Kiss makeup and goth makeup and stuff like that, and it's never funny.
Yeah,
it's never funny.
I didn't. I thought I was like, okay, so we're on the same thing, but then I was trying to see where it was going, and then once it started getting into like, hey, we're gonna make this movie and about the movies that we just made and that and then we just watched, and I was like, oh, cool, so I'm gonna watch both movies again.
Yeah,
for the third movie.
Yeah,
like I should have just started with the third movie and then just been like, cool, I watched all of them.
Yeah. That's basically how it goes.
Yeah, because it was like everything was like tying back into it. Every time it was like, okay, you're playing this character that was this, and it's you or whatever, right? And you're like, yeah, we know what the character is. Like, if we're watching this movie, we know what that. You don't have to like let us know that.
Especially
we know
if we're watching this as fans of Clerks, we already understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But Kevin's.
Yeah,
that's bad. We gotta get through this. There's like one redeeming factor to the movie, and that's in the third act, and that's where it gets emotional. And even as a fan, like I got it. They had just like pulling my heartstrings. But the fact that it's a train wreck to get to that point.
Yeah,
is a freaking disaster. And actually, I did write this down. The best part of the movie is actually Kevin Smith coming on in voiceover over the credits and talking about the movie.
Wait, was that like after, like once, like how far into the credits?
Like barely a minute. Because it goes to credits, it's a song, and then he cuts in. It's like, hey there, it's Kevin Smith, talking about, hey, I just want to, and he's like talking.
So it was after the song then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
there's like a. Oh no, it's the best.
I didn't wait around
it's
for
the
your
best
Marvel
part.
ending.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, credits, cool. Okay, click. Turn off.
No, and in fact, the Prime Video app like automatically cuts the movie off.
Does it shrink it or does it completely cut it off?
It like completely
like
actually
you're ready
switch
to watch
my shows.
Yeah, it's like you're ready to watch the next show.
Yeah, it's like some show that I don't have anything on Amazon, so I was like, what are you switching me to? But he's talking about the movie earnestly about originally I wanted to do this in the ending and this is really heartfelt thing, and it's like, dude, why couldn't this have been the entire movie?
Yeah,
like it would have been so much better than what you wrote. It's tragic to me that Kevin Smith is so funny and his stories are so amazing, but then as soon as he goes to make a movie, it's trash. Like there's something lost in translation.
It seems like he should have made like a mockumentary about himself or something.
This like kind of was.
And that's what it should have been. You know, you could have all your folks come in and, you know, do their little shtick and still just make jokes about it. And,
yeah.
It was be reflective.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the stuff though is like, what's the guy from the Danny Trejo?
Danny Trejo's in there.
Yeah, he's in there as a cameo, and then he like literally like says like, you know, like machete at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just like throws that in there like, okay, cool. Like
thanks,
we don't need you to reference your movies that are memes or whatever. Like we get it. Like you're already in the film as a funny thing. Like you don't have to bring it up. So I was just like, it was like things like that where I was just like, all right, this is just a little too much. You went a little too far, even for me.
It's
a little
like,
too far.
Man, I don't. I really like some bad movies, but you're really pushing my patience, right?
and I like Cop Out.
I know. Yeah,
hold that over your head.
Right? No, it's cool because I mean, someone beyond Kevin has to,
right?
And his mom, like his mom is in this movie.
Oh really?
Oh my God.
His mom was in the original movie too, but she was actually one of the people audition. She was like, who would make something so terrible?
Oh, that's
his mom.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, Clerks Trilogy. Kind of watch it, but don't.
You know,
I think you should watch it in order. Honestly, I think really, I think.
Well, now I am more interested in watching it to see if it really is as bad as you say it is.
Yeah, the third one primarily.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy the first two, but for slightly different reasons.
Sure.
But the third one's really bad. And I would recommend you not watch it, but I mean, I can't stop you. I'm not your boss, so whatever. Cool. Well, that was the main event. Did you guys have anything that we wanted to add to this episode before we get the heck out of here?
We should get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That sounds great. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. You guys, and then you.
Yes.
And not you, Victoria. I mean, you,
no,
Victoria.
It's me.
Yes.
You were looking at me.
I
and
was.
The camera.
And the camera. Yeah. Exactly. And those who are listening and hopefully watching, hopefully this worked out really well this time. I worked really hard on this. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow and all that social media stuff. Comment on our webpage. I actually wrote WebZone in here at some point.
WebZone.
Wow.
WebZone.
Yes.
Yeah, I can send you a pizza roll. And our Facebook and all that fun stuff. Literally all of it. Comment everywhere. Instagram. Talk about. And from Hot Takes and String Breaks, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye. Over there. There we go. Bye. Bye. Bye.